Welcome back to another week of figuring out how to do an intro for the show.
Fine and Dandy is what the show's called.
Oh, wait, what? No, yeah. No, I'm honestly, every week I come to this, I'm like, I'm going to kill it on the intro. It's going to be awesome. The people are going to love it. I'm really going to nail it this time. And then I absolutely fuck it up every single time.
I think you fucking it up is better, though.
You think so?
I think it works.
What about it?
Well, one, it's original.
There you go.
It's
authentic,
It is
guys.
authentic.
It's
It's original and authentic.
You know, it's me. I'm not AI. That's me passing the test.
Isn't that what AI would say?
What?
That it's not AI.
It's me, guys. It's me. Dude, that's the next movie. You know where it switches up. It's like the person who can change form or whatever, so they're the same as you. And like, you remember the third grade, and then they shoot the other person.
What movie is this?
There's a bunch of movies that do that, where it's someone transforms into someone that is an identical copy of the other person. And then they get in a tangle, so you lose track of who's who.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Well, that's like that
I was
Will
like, you've
Smith
never
movie.
seen that ever?
I thought you were talking about a specific movie.
No, I was like, that's just like
whenever
classic
you said
trope.
like that movie. I thought you meant like
Gemini
there was
Man?
a movie. Yeah,
You were
that
thinking
was
Gemini
the one
Man?
I was thinking of. Yeah.
Nah, there's I can't think of a specific one, but there's multiple. And which one is it? Tell me something only you would know.
Oh yeah.
You
Okay,
know?
I'm with you.
But yeah, in the future it's gonna be AI. Tell me something, and AI is just gonna know.
It's gonna
But
know
that
everything.
but that's where the fuck up, because in the real one would be like, I don't fucking know, man.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I knew it. See, that's when I knew it was you.
Well, that's like that Rick and Morty episode where like the only way to know who was real was the people you had bad experiences with, because everyone was like, do you remember that good time that we had?
Yeah.
And then it would cut to the memory basically, and then he was like, the only people that are real are the people that you fucking hate.
Yeah. He's like, great thinking, Morty. Genius. It's gonna be all the people who can barely think. You're like, that's how I know you're real. 'Cause you can't.
Right.
You don't have a single thought floating around in that little brain of yours.
Well, is that real or is that the NPC shit?
Well, eventually we'll all be NPCs.
Are
all
we
float down
already
here.
NPCs? Just
Maybe.
with great backstories.
Maybe we're the NPCs.
Yeah, bro.
We're just a background. It's meta. You know what I mean? You just zoom out. There's someone watching a podcast, but it's them watching us, and then us watching them,
Yeah, dude. I mean,
watching someone else, watching them.
yeah, I saw. It wasn't a theory, but it was someone talking about like the idea of like dreams and how we don't know what they are. And it's like the idea that basically when we're resting, that our bodies are being like possessed by interdimensional demons.
By dream demons.
By dream demons, basically. it
I'll
was
keep
like
this one going.
it was like that's what your experience is, like them in your body, like on these like in this other plane.
I
It's
never
like,
want this dream to stop.
It's like, well, wait, why would I be experiencing that if they're taking over my body?
Did you know? I just recently found out that, speaking of dreams, I know this is
Dreams are fun.
no, it's random, but I just recently figured out about this
You figured it out,
plant
bro?
called mugwort.
What?
Mugwort. It's supposed to.
I'm gonna look that up while
promote-
you talk about it.
Yeah, promote like healthy dreaming. It's been used in spiritual practices and stuff like that. You can make a tea. Not good for pregnancy. Maybe, yeah. It's not good if you be wary if you're pregnant. I think that's you're not supposed to do it.
Mugwort offers a range of potential health benefits, including anti-inflammatory,
Oh.
antioxidant, and antimicrobial properties.
Did
It's
not know
been
that.
traditionally used to support digestive health, regulate menstrual cycles. So I don't know if Daniel's correct on that. And relieve pain and muscle aches. Additionally, mugwort may promote circulation, improve sleep, and offer stress relief. What do you know? What does it look like? I'm gonna see if I can find a picture.
Find a picture of that. But yeah, I kind of want to get some. 'Cause I'm
Shout out to the AI overeat.
big on tea. So I
It's
would.
just like a regular ass plant.
Yeah, it's got a sick ass name though.
Hold on.
Kind of scary name in a way, but I would definitely, I would definitely make a tea out of that and probably say, I can't imagine it. It doesn't sound like it would taste good, but I don't know what Does sound like it would taste good, you know. I'm drinking on that yerba mate right now, that
does
freshly
not
brewed.
sound like it would taste good.
This is that freshly brewed. This isn't that canned shit, bro. I got so much, dude. I have so much of this shit. It's actually ridiculous. Like I need to get rid of it.
Yeah.
I could drink this shit every day probably for the next 2 years, and still have some.
Yeah, I mean the whole sponsorship thing that Neil had was insane. Like
He wasn't sponsored. We were sponsored by him essentially,
Kinda, yeah.
indirectly. But
I mean, if you think about between that and the beatbox shit, like there was just such an influx of just free liquids coming in at all times.
yeah, I won so many of those giveaways, dude.
Dude,
I just entered another one. You saw that?
I did see that.
It's for the cooler. Honestly, I
He
want that
tags
one.
me in every one of them, and it's so surprising how many he's won.
Dude, I won. Honestly, though,
It's like 6 or 7 of them.
I'm really hoping they don't watch this. But to anyone who does, if you win one, they send you a form, and it doesn't max you out on how many times you can send that form in. I didn't overdo it, so I only sent it in twice per one. So I got doubled the prizes of whatever it was that I won.
So what if they see this? What are they gonna do? Bill you?
Wait, did I give you one of the pajamas too?
Yeah, I got one of the pajamas.
So then, yeah, actually, then I did 3 of those by accident because I gave Jerry a pair of pajamas.
No, what it was is you did 2, but one of them got lost in the mail, so then you requested another one, and then the one that got lost in the mail came in like 2 months later, and you gave it to me.
But I gave Jerry one too.
Yeah, you gave Jared like the first one, I think.
But I also have one.
Right.
That's 3 of them.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
2
so-
came in, but the one that we thought was lost in the mail came in after.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, then
We're on the same page.
gotcha. Hell yeah! But I really do want that cooler. I want the cooler. I want the fucking beatbox cooler. Give me that shit,
Let me
dude.
look that up. Is it cool?
What? It's like a backpack cooler. You put ice. You can fit a couple of them in there. Dude, we just have so many beat. I'm not gonna drink them, dude. I'm too old for the beatbox.
I'm not gonna drink them either. So
Yeah, it's just that's a headache waiting to have. I mean, it's cool, you know.
Oh, this is kind of sick. Oh wait, where's the backpack?
I always wanted. I also really wanted
Where's
the
the backpack
floaty.
one though?
I think it might be that one. Which
This one? Floaty.
That's the floaty. It's in the middle.
That's
there.
a sick ass floaty cooler.
That's in the 3rd row down, I think.
This one?
No, one more. Yeah.
That one? Oh, that's kind of sick.
Yeah. Not to. I mean, we're giving them kind of free promo, but I also did say I'm.
You've kind of gotten a lot of free shit from them.
Yeah.
So they've earned it.
I honestly, dude, crazy enough, through Beatbox, I won tickets to Lights All Night. I got 2 tickets to go to. So not only did I win all the giveaways,
You got 2
for the
tickets to a fucking
a festival.
festival as well.
Yeah.
Did that include the airfare or just like the
Nah,
tickets to get in?
nah, it was just the tickets. But
That's cool,
I
though.
mean, it was in Dallas,
Oh, you just drove.
so we just drove.
Yeah. Okay. Fuck yeah. That's not bad at all.
Nah, it wasn't. I couldn't go one day, but it's okay. I only wanted to go the second. It's free, so I went the second day.
Yeah. No skin off your
Or
back.
was it the first day? I don't know, but we saw a lot of
Who
artists.
knows?
We saw a lot of artists we wanted to see, and it was cool.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, it was clutch as fuck. But yeah, dude, thank you guys for tuning in. You know, we're gonna have I'm gonna tell y'all this, so you know, being really vulnerable with you guys right now. We've recorded 2 episodes that fucked up.
2.
And we're supposed to have another member. We're gonna be introducing a 3rd. Me and Josh found our 3rd.
Don't do that.
He's like, please stop.
Don't touch me.
We found our 3rd though.
Right. You can't stop there.
I just gave him a look. I just wanted y'all to know that.
Yeah, for all the
just
audio listeners, you just looked at me, and
Yeah.
that was it.
I said we found our 3rd.
I don't think the look was.
Josh
like
is
what
really
he thought
picky
it
about
was.
who he wanted.
That's not true.
I'm kidding.
I had like legitimately one fucking rule.
we saw him from across the room, and we just couldn't help ourselves. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm
Are
kidding.
you gonna like cut in the Chris Brown song?
What song?
I saw you from across the room.
I don't know Chris Brown though.
You don't know that song?
You could have said anything. And
Damn, my phone's over there. I can't play it.
Yeah,
I could play it on my. I don't know if you've heard the speakers on my laptop, but it's literally just bass.
Yeah. Does it pack a punch?
It packs a punch, dude.
Fucking-
You want to hear something? I'll play some for you.
Damn, bro. I don't want a black eye.
It might fucking give you one, dude.
Does it bite back, dude?
It might.
Yeah, but we were supposed to introduce him in the last 2 episodes, but he couldn't make it today. But we will be introducing our third in the next episode, so that'll be pretty cool. He'll be basically taking care of all the back end stuff, making sure that the audio works. I mean, once he gets used to everything, making sure the audio works, make sure the camera stuff is good. So that's gonna be really cool, and we'll probably be a lot more structured going forward. So look forward to that as well. A lot of silliness still in store. I actually wonder how many people make it to the end. 'Cause the thing is,
dude.
the first half is mostly us just shooting the shit. But
Yeah.
for those of you who don't, I'm just only saying this 'cause I feel like a lot of you probably watch the beginning and think these guys are fucking morons, and the answer is yes.
Facts.
That is also very true.
It works. That
But-
plays.
But it tracks. Yeah. But 2, the second half of the podcast is usually where we dive into a lot of the more serious
We get
topics.
real serious, dude.
Yeah, get real. Like it's Saitama. I was like, duh. Dude, my brain barely works half the time. It's like Saitama though. Serious punch. But that punch is something.
Falcon kick.
It is something serious.
Yeah, no. Honestly, One Punch Man is fucking hilarious. I heard they were making a 3rd season.
You should watch. I think you would like Solo Leveling.
I keep hearing that. I need to check
'Cause,
it out. What
it's
is it
another
on?
one of those where he's just a OP. so basically,
Is it funny?
it's not as funny. It's just he's just such
He's
an
just
OP kid.
super OP.
He just fucking
He just
obliterates
barrels through fucking everyone.
You see, it's the same thing where you see everyone else just get their asses kicked, and then he comes in and just beat. You're just like, he's there just so you can watch everyone else get their ass beat, and you're just waiting for him to step in to win, basically.
He's like, you guys give it a shot first. So
Yeah, go for it. You're just waiting, and then you're like, oh shit.
they're all in the hospital.
Everyone's
after,
dead.
Like, you could have fucking stepped in earlier, you asshole.
Moon Man Rider just getting his ass
Dude,
fucking
that dude-
obliterated.
That dude was a fucking champion for continuing to like come back and get more.
He had no powers. He fucking sucked, but he's my
He
favorite.
showed up.
Also, we're going to switch things up. We're going to plug things in the beginning because we don't know how many of you actually stay tuned to the end. And we don't know how many of you get to actually see all the plugs. So we're going to start off.
Yeah.
It's like eating breakfast for dinner. It's the opposite. You normally would eat dinner for breakfast, but we're eating breakfast for, you get it. You guys get it, but
yeah, dude.
nah, yeah, thank y'all for sticking with us for real. It's been awesome, and honestly, excited. We're gonna start doing more live stuff as well, like covering live events, which is pretty cool. Speaking of
Truthfully.
live events, we're gonna be doing one at the end of June. That'll be at Eden in San Marcos, June. It's a Saturday. I'm really bad with dates. Can you pull up a calendar? Do you have a calendar?
Yeah.
I want to say June 21st. It might be June 24th. I'm doing a rough estimate. It's a Saturday, but it's within that date range, so you could probably deduce. He's about to pull
Hey,
up.
how do you fucking pull up a calendar on here? Maybe I can just
Call IT.
found it.
There we go. You can just Google it.
You can Google it. I spotlight searched it, Dan. I've got
Oh.
a calendar right here. What are we looking at?
June.
June what?
It's either 21st or the 24th. It's a Saturday.
21st.
21st. June 21st. Eden. San Marcos. Got a full lineup. It's going to be a free show. So bring your ass. Don't be too cool to dance because that's fucking lame. Don't be on your phone the whole time. Talk to people. Vibe. Even if you don't talk to people, dance. Get in your fucking zone. Have fun. That's what we're there for. It's free. Come out. Show out. Bring your friends. The music's going to be good. We have a full lineup. Then we have another one. Yes, this is our Instagram here, the Mont Music. We're going to have another one in August, the beginning of August. Don't have the exact date for that, but stay tuned for that one. That's going to be at the Clubhouse again, the last event we threw there. Fucking killer. Had a lot of fun. Pretty much already have all the DJs picked out for that one as well. So we just gotta get flyers for these things, and then we're gonna be fucking flying into this new year, even though it's already May.
Oh yeah.
Like, at what point can you stop saying that though? Because it's technically a new year every year.
It's all you're always flying into a new year
Yeah,
because the year is always flying.
and it's always new. You wanna go ahead?
Truthfully,
You wanna give a shout out there?
yeah, I'll
Bucko?
give a shout out of my own. I'll
Yeah,
give a
go
shout out
ahead.
of my own. So me and my buddy Chance are still doing our sports card company. It's called Six Man Media. We have our Instagram page here. Follow us on Instagram, Six Man Media Live. We are running a giveaway right now. Our countdown to 100 followers. Essentially, this Kobe Bryant slab will be given away to someone that's entered into this like givey. Once we hit 100 followers, right now we're at 64. So the countdown is live. Pretty much every Sunday we run a show. We do like a pull box where we have like a bunch of cards and a bunch of chasers available. We also do singles and stuff and sales like that. But this Sunday we're doing our first ever live. Well, not our first ever. Sorry, our second ever live box break. So come check us out on Whatnot, which is going to be this one right here. Check us out. 6-man breaks on Whatnot. This little tab's going to come up, and I can't get it to go away, but you guys get the gist. Check us out.
Hey, we're back. If you skipped through that, awesome. Now we get to jump into the fun part.
The nitty-gritty of it all. The
Oi,
beans
oi,
on the
oi,
toast
oi.
and the potatoes and gravy.
I don't know if you heard anything. I was just making a fucking.
Yeah, I
bunch
heard
of
that noise. I don't know
bunch
if they heard that
noises there,
noise.
but what? Just. Yeah, but as you guys know, we like to be goofy, we like to be silly. For those of you who are maybe new to tuning in, we do a lot of banter and silliness in the beginning, but we do like to get into some more serious, more thought-provoking conversations in the second half. But it's a ride, it's a journey. Join us, have fun, but also remember that we're all in this together, High School Musical style. I'm Troy Bolton. He's
I'm Gabriella.
I was gonna say Corbin Blue. I don't even remember his name in the fucking movie, but Corbin Blue had like a run of 3 movies, and then you never saw that motherfucker again, bro.
We're so horrid.
Bro, he was trying to get his head in the game, bro. You know, it's funny now because if you made that like unexpectedly, you could make if you made High School Musical now, they'd be like, "Why are you trying to push homosexuality?"
I don't want my athletes singing. I mean, that's kind of already how like people act, though.
That's
It
what I'm
wouldn't be like new.
What?
It's fucking people being homophobic in sports.
Oh yeah, no, but it's funny because we're just like, yeah, dude, let him dance.
Shit was
But now
hilarious.
people would just be pissed off.
The shit
You had to make a movie about the fact that you had to make a movie where people were like, I could do more than play basketball is insane.
Well, the funniest part about that first movie
is that they made their star player white.
Nope, that's not. Well, that's close to the
Yeah,
funniest part.
okay, go ahead.
The funniest part is that they tried to like make the dude that was just a fucking baker fucking ashamed of being a baker. Like, what's wrong with baking goods? How is that seen as feminine of any kind?
Dude's like, I play the cello. Good for you, bro.
Literally, like,
Musically
we're
talented.
just talking about things that we should not be embarrassed or ashamed of. He should not be embarrassed or ashamed of dancing and singing.
They had a whole
But
bit.
the fact is that like he was like, I'm free to let everyone know that I like to make creme brulee. It's like, what the fuck is going on here?
But if you remember, the first part of that is them being like, shut the fuck up.
I do
Stick
remember
to what
that.
you know, basketball boy.
I do remember that. I
No,
just,
no. Stick to the stuff you know.
Just like, what the fuck?
I can bake. They're like, whoa.
No, you play basketball. You can't bake. How dare you?
You're not a baker, dude.
I like to play the cello.
Like, is that a
What
problem?
did you say?
What?
You're like, what did you say?
Yeah, right? Everyone's like, whoa, dude. You can't do that. Everyone knows Sharpay sings and Troy Bolton plays basketball.
Someone in the back was like, "Hey, yo, what's a cello?"
Did they say that?
No,
No,
I said
someone's
that would
just
be
like-
fucking hilarious in the cafeteria.
I was like, I'm just trying to eat my food.
That one's just like eating a piece of cello. What's a cello? Did they say jello?
Honestly, imagine if you're a background character, you're like, oh, now all the popular kids get to fucking, oh, whoa, now it's cool. All of us, fuck you. Now, you ever see those posts where it's like, it'll be someone like that's really good at something like, oh, my name's so and so. I'm so good at fucking basketball. Oh, I go home to a hot wife. Fuck you.
Oh, I have seen that. It's
We're
like, my
just-
name's Josh Allen. I just won an NFL MVP, and I married Haley Stanfield. I just got to fuck you, Josh Allen. Who do you think you are?
Yeah, you fucking get out of here. Boo. You know.
They're like they did the Timothy Chalamet one. Like, surrounded by baddies and MSG, fucking Lisan Al Gaib, fucking
yeah,
just
my
top of
name's
the world. Who the fuck do you think you are?
My name's Timothy Chalamet. But yeah, guys, that's the kind of fun, silly, good time goofing that we have on Fine and Dandy.
Here at the Fine and
That's-
Dandy
Here at the
Studio.
Fine and Dandy show, you can get a mix of laughter and introspection.
Introspection. There's a word.
Should we just do one big, like the whole show is just one big ad? Here at Fine and Dandy.
For our show. Is that you're talking
What?
about? He said it one big ad for our show.
Did you say 4-hour show?
Yeah.
Like one big ad, 4-hour show? Is that what you thought I said?
No, that's what I
Like
was
one-
asking.
You saying that we're doing one big ad, 4-hour show?
Right, like we're advertising our show on our show.
Yes. Okay. I thought you were saying on our show, 4-hour show.
Yeah. We,
Are you
like we
missing
would
what
be
I'm saying?
using no.
I thought you were saying that we're gonna spend 4 hours.
Oh.
Like I thought you were saying because I was.
No.
You understood what I was saying, but I thought you misunderstood what I was saying. And you're saying that we're gonna do 4 hours of ad.
Oh
of
no.
Us advertising.
A 4-hour ad show would be crazy. We're just advertising our show for 4 hours.
Yeah, the whole show is us telling you what the show is without ever actually diving into what the show is. Just you know what? Come on, guys, you know us. It's me, Daniel.
You don't reveal your name for like the first
It's-
2 hours.
It's me. Come, you guys know me. It's
you guys
me.
can trust me. On to
Look.
the next product.
It's silly, just banter with your friends, just your homies. Good loving, just kind of time, you know. I want to dance.
I love that you just keep looking at the screen instead of the people. Or even like the void, you're just looking like in this one direction the whole time.
This is what it's about. It's about being yourself. It's about whimsy. It's about love. It's about chaos. And most importantly, it's what it's about, community. It's about coming together, guys. It's about bringing it all together, baking one big community pie. You just throw everything in there, you know, it's like soup.
What the fuck are you talking about? You said a community pie and then you said soup. What kind of pie is even close to soup?
Pot pie.
That's kind of close to soup. I
Fucking-
retract my statement.
Yes.
That's the only one though.
Because there's like a pot. You can make pot pie soup.
Right, but that's like the only one though. Pot pie is like the closest thing to like a pie and a soup. If you made any other kind of pie into a soup, you might be thrown in jail.
Hold on.
Said I can do this.
Shepherd's pie.
What is shepherd's pie? It's like the beef, right?
It's beef and potatoes. Good old classic. But I think some people throw like carrots and peas in there.
You're gonna turn that into
Berries and cream, berries and cream,
what's wrong with
franks
you?
and beans.
What's wrong with you?
You know what fucking thing used to stick
A
out
lot
to
of
me?
things, dude.
Something about Mary where it was the scene where
Good movie.
he gets his balls like caught in the zipper.
In the zipper, yeah. We got a bleeder.
And then it's just her special needs brother just going Frankston beans, Frankston beans. And then it's like the funny part in that writing was then like it was years later, right? And then like the way they kind of gloss over it, but it's strictly just for the viewer because the characters don't really notice it. But as soon as he sees Ben Stiller again, he's like, Franks and beans, right? And no one really catches what that means, but you're like, that's fucking a hilarious callback.
Like that's what he knows him as.
What?
That's what he knows.
That's
him
how
as.
he remembers him. Is he's just Franks and just.
That's hilarious. That movie's
Yeah.
fucking slept on. I feel like
Nah, bro. I mean, for the time, it was a all timer.
they didn't win any like awards or anything though.
I mean, it's a comedy movie. What not many do.
It's fair.
Yeah.
It was like a rom-com though.
Yeah.
Kind of fell in that category of
It
like
was.
maybe being able to break out.
Brett Favre was in there. Maybe that was right before all the
The controversy, per
terrible
se.
things he did. Yeah. We won't touch on it because I don't care about him. But
That's fair.
yeah,
You just like kind of gave him some props for no reason, but all
I
right.
give him props.
Well, at first you did.
You know, I think my first order of business.
Of
Um,
of what? What?
If I came into a lot of money, it would be to hire a props guy. Not someone who carries in props, but someone who just gives you props.
That's kind of hilarious. He just walks around with you, whenever you
Props,
say
dude.
something, he's like,
Props, bro.
"Props, bro, you did that shit."
There was a point in time when Darian was working with me, and then we both just were like, who can give more props? So we just went around the restaurant all day to everyone. Like, yeah, props. Just anytime they would say something, just
Props, dude.
I think we made their day a little bit better. You know,
or a
brought a
lot,
little bit more sunshine.
or a little bit worse.
And that's what this podcast is all about. It's about bringing joy into people's life. It's about making something out of nothing. Because when you really think about
Making
life,
something out of nothing.
about me,
When you think about the life, when the life will give you a lemon, life would really cannot give you a lemon. Lemon are not naturally
I
occurring.
think that's what Chris Pratt's is as audition sounded like
for Mario.
when he's trying out for Mario. When the life gives you lemons.
I feel like
I may be the worst at accents of all time.
You're pretty close. I feel like Charlie Day killed Luigi though. I feel like he killed that role.
Yeah, he crushed it.
But yeah, you're not great with accents. It's kind of funny.
Do you think the opposite of Charlie Day would be Chucky Knight?
I don't know if Chucky is the opposite of Charlie. Chuck is like kind of similar to Charlie. Like it's a synonym.
Then what would be the opposite of Charlie?
Delta. I don't know.
Oh, Delta go. Delta Knight's kind of sick.
Beta Alpha, maybe. I don't know.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. Me and Shelby been talking kid names. Not that we want any necessarily. It
Xenon.
was not on the list, but that is honestly it's funny because I told her no like X style names. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what would
Big
be?
xylophone. No.
Yeah. But like Jax was one of them.
Okay.
I was like, no, not doing Jax. But Xenon is just ridiculous enough. I might,
He
you
said,
know,
I could give a
Hans
Xenon.
But I probably wouldn't do that. But one of the names she came up with, I was like, you want our son to be go on quests? His name was gonna be Rowan Thorne. Middle name was Thorne. His first name would be Rowan.
My nephew's name is Rowan.
That's kind of sick. Rowan's kind of a sick name though. That was one I was like, I can get behind my.
I don't know the reasoning of why they named him that,
But I was like, because the other name we came up with was August.
Augustus.
And I was like, it would be funny because so the girl name we came up with was Juniper,
Okay.
and her middle name would be Rain.
Okay.
Pretty sick, but I was like, okay, August was something we agreed on that would be a cool name for a boy. It's like, but what if we named his middle name Snow? 'Cause Juniper Rain and August Snow. She's like, no, I don't know if I'm married to that. I was like, but August,
Hail?
what?
Hail.
That's a little too, which is weather. I was like, August Snow sounds like a chill artsy guy. Rowan Thorne sounds like a guy that gets in trouble.
You get to your like sixth kid, and you're just like you just try to keep it consistent. You're like dust storm. I don't fucking know.
Weather. Just name fucking hurricane.
You're like
Hurricane. I could see that as a name.
precipitation. It's there.
You know,
Call 'em sip.
humidity.
Humidity's not bad.
Named it after the state that they were born in.
Texas.
Yeah. That'd be pretty cool though.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
I was thinking that there's not too many names because Juniper's a cool name because you could call it like her nickname could be June, and I was like, that's actually a cute name.
Junie.
There's not. Now we're just talking Spy Kids.
I didn't know if you were gonna catch that.
I was like Cortez.
I didn't know if you were gonna catch that. All right. He's tapped in, folks.
Yeah, dude, I know a thing or two. I was in 3D, bro.
You can call her Nipper. That's what we used to call our homie Michael. I don't even know why they called him Nipper, actually.
Had to be something with his nipples.
Huh?
He had a nip hard or something.
Maybe. They used to work with him, so it might have been like a thing that happened at work or something. Shout out, Mike. You pointed at the screen. I did too.
But I think that's how. I don't know I don't know how if y'all are looking if it's like. There, yeah, that does look like I'm looking at you more.
Yeah, buddy. It's the lens.
But yeah, I don't know if you caught what Josh was saying earlier. We will have a third joining us, and we are happy to have him on and coming on. And so when you guys give him a lot of love when he comes on, you know, because that's what this show's all about.
The mysterious Evan Blaylock.
Damn, I thought you were gonna say. Honestly, I was like, damn, that'd be a fire ass intro. The mysterious and chaotic love of fire. I don't know. I don't know. I tried to riff on that.
Like the mysterious, cold,
Fine and dandy.
cold-blooded.
Mysterious.
You'll
The
find it. There it is.
mysterious. The mysterious. Mysterio.
The mysterious Mysterio. Oh, that's hilarious. The fucking Eminem.
No, that's more like that's more Action Bronson. I feel like. Mysterious Mysterio.
I didn't mean the rapper Eminem. I just meant like Eminem. Mysterious Mysterio. I didn't mean the fucking Marshall Mathers, bro. That's
Dude,
not
is that why his name was Eminem?
Yes.
Is that why he named himself Eminem? Because his name is Marshall Mathers?
I don't know if that's why, but I think it's been pretty big in there. Yeah.
He's like looking at a pack. He's like, Eminem.
That's me.
Eminem.
I'm the missing Eminem.
Way too many napkins. Mysterio. Mysterious Mysterio. Why it's playing on the stereo?
Eminem, please don't come for us. This is
Cheery,
like 10
chip,
years
chip,
old.
Cheerio.
That shit was like fucking 9 years ago whenever him and fucking MGK were going at it.
9 years ago?
I feel like it. I think it
I'm
was
not
like
gonna lie,
2016.
I'm not gonna lie to you. MGK gotta be one of the worst to do it of all time.
Did you see
Motherfucker
the
just be
new
trying to
shit?
ride every wave, and he's mid at everything he's ever done.
Did you see the new shit where he dropped like I don't know what the song was. I didn't even like watch the
No,
music
I did
video,
see
but
it.
I saw a lot of people reacting to it.
No, I listened to it. It's not good. Someone said "Song of the Summer." I was like, hell no.
Someone said I've never seen a white dude cosplay as a white dude.
Dude, that's facts though. That's honestly the best
It's like what
best
the fuck?
depiction that is what that felt like. Watching that was like, bro, you don't even know what you're doing.
Who told you to do this?
Like, you're too old for this, bud. Like,
Literally.
hang it up, bro. You're not Green Day. Let's fucking get out. Honestly, you put like everything to shame. Honestly, I would take Imagine Dragons over the shit that he was spitting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anyone that would kind of argue against that.
Yeah, no.
I feel like even Imagine Dragons have some hits.
The thing is, I think he only stays afloat because he rides every wave, and it works just enough for the people who have no taste.
Is it that, or I've thought like there could be like industry plant like stuff, because it's like another thing he's done has been like so super successful to like make it make sense to continue funding his projects.
Like he went through a rock phase and was like headlining. I was like, who's listening to that?
Yeah, like
How?
I don't understand the audience. Maybe we're completely off, and he just has this like super niche, hardcore audience that people just like go to his shows, and he's able to make money. But like, it just seems so cringe,
So
honestly.
fabricated, you
Yeah,
know? And that's not what we're about here at Fine and Dandy. We're
yeah,
actually
dude.
the opposite.
Yeah, bro, we're not fabricated.
Tell him, Doofles.
Yeah, bro.
He's in his bag. You wouldn't get it. You wouldn't get it. He's in his bag. Not this guy. Look at him. Doofles is looking. Doofles is looking at you. He's
kinda
ashamed.
He is kind of looking at you.
He knows what you're doing.
He's pointing to the midnight gospel though.
That kind of, honestly, dude, that's such a fire ass name.
It is.
He's pointing to the midnight gospel.
He's telling you to get gospeled in your midnight.
Like, I was trying to think of a rhyme of gospel, but I couldn't do it.
Hostel, maybe.
Midnight gospel, hostel. Sitting on a hot stool. Fucking
Pray to your God, he better be Pentecostal.
dude, oh, holy shit. Nah, but yeah, he knows when you're sleeping and he knows when you're awake. He knows when you've been bad or good. Midnight gospel. Wait. Do you know what
For whose sake? Oh yeah, dude.
That's Clancy, bro.
Dude, Clancy, I wish they had a second season of that. I mean, I don't want to rush it, but I need that.
Clancy. Fancy, bancy.
It's a rewatch.
Feeling kind of dancy.
What?
It does. I do need to rewatch it. It's a good. Don't mind me.
Got some good rewatch value.
No, but as Josh was stating in the beginning of the episode, yeah, we did, you know, record a couple times. We did do that.
Yeah. That's, usual. We take a little bit of time to get the chemistry right, but whenever we're focused on getting the chemistry right, of course, our head's not in the game on the equipment side, and then something isn't right, and we lose
Something's
hours
afoot.
of fucking footage.
Yeah. But again, you live and you learn.
Yeah.
Something's afoot.
Did you
And an arm and a leg.
Did you kick it?
I'm kicking it. Damn, was the Chris Brown punch? Was that this one or was it the last one?
What?
When you were talking about Chris Brown?
The punch?
No, you're talking about his song.
It was talking about his song.
Was that this time?
Yeah. That might have been last time too.
I don't know, dude.
Whenever you said saw you from across the room, it just reminds me of that song.
So that was the
where
first go around, I think, when I.
Maybe, but it was today too.
Yeah. Damn. Life comes at you fast.
Who knows, dude? At this point, all of these conversations with you in this studio meshed together, and I don't know which one was which.
Think about it. It's one great, big, grander conversation. It's all a
Maybe.
part of the bigger picture. It's all the small pieces that piece in. It's all a part of the bigger puzzle. We're one drop in an endless ocean. Do you think, like, I was thinking about today, I was like, do you think we could ever appeal to blue-collar work?
No, well, in what fashion?
I don't know.
You mean like be
think-
entertaining?
Yeah.
Probably not.
They'd be like, all right, yeah.
Well, I don't know. It just
What
depends.
do you think they watch? Like, Home
I-
Improvement over and over again?
No. I'd say I mean from some of the blue collar workers I know, a lot of like stand up comedy, a lot of just like Netflix and fucking shows and shit. I don't know a ton of people in that field that watch a lot of podcasts in general. But if they do, it's probably just like your more mainstream like Rogan, fucking Theo, Mom's House, Kill Tony. I mean, you gotta think a lot of these people do. I mean, while they are like either working in trades or working in plants or working in whatever it is, when you talk about like blue collar work, a lot of them do have a lot of downtime.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff that they do watch. It's just not. I haven't, in my experience, seen a lot of blue collar workers that watch a lot of pods.
Shout out the backbone of this country.
Kill Tony.
Fuck no. The blue collar workers,
He
dude.
said,
The
"Fuck no."
electricians. The people who work for Center Point Energy.
It's not the teachers.
The teachers. The garbage men. sanitation,
The prison wardens. No, I'm kidding.
the security guards, the men and women that put their lives into what they do. Let's give them a round of applause. We stand with the blue collar workers. We stand with the middle class or the lower middle. I don't wherever they
go
live.
for it. Who just disrespect him as well?
I'm not disrespecting them.
You might be.
That's
Who
true.
knows?
That's true. That's true. And if I am sorry.
No, I don't know.
When,
Who cares?
Well, the jokes are jokes.
We're all in this together. We're all in the same class.
Or Bolton.
Human class, dude.
This is the class.
And class is in session.
Classes. He's not one of the teachers though. He's
not. I'm still learning.
he failed out. He
I
flunked
did-
out of
I-
human
I
class.
do. I
He
missed-
don't think he learned what to do.
I slept through school too long. I missed class a few times. They kicked me out.
It's like that the Men in Black 3 whenever he gets fries. I put my pants on. Yeah, but
Honestly, Fire series. That's a
No, yeah, I
rewatch
like-
as well.
I like the way they ended it. I refuse to watch any more after that because they didn't put Will Smith in it
Yeah, I didn't see the future
or
ones
Tommy
either.
Lee, so it's just
Is
pointless.
Tommy Lee still alive?
I don't know. Jamie, Google it.
Gotcha.
Can you get trademarked for that? Yeah. I guess the name probably not, huh? Jones? Yeah, you looking at the drummer? Tommy Lee Jones, brother. But hell yeah, dude. But as he was saying earlier, we did have a couple conversations. We're gonna dive back into that stuff. And I think one of the first things I wanted to dive into was because I've been thinking about it a lot. It's been sitting with me. The reason I said it like that is because Josh said it was weird that expression.
I think it's a weird expression because it implies that it's a topic that, or even a phrase or a moment or a memory or something that has been sitting with you and like talking to you or having a drink with you. I get it. It's like been on your mind, but I don't understand the sitting with you thing. But carry on.
Yeah, so it's the idea that there's 1,000 different versions. I mean, that's probably lowballing it. But let's just shoot for 1,000,000. 1,000,000 different versions of yourself, right? That in the sense that every person has a different perspective of how they view you, and in that being, there lives that many different versions of you in the world, in people's heads at the very least. But also, you being perceived kind of creates a different version of yourself in that sense as well. And I think that also affects how you not only perceive yourself, but how you act amongst the way that you feel perceived or how people do perceive you. And that kind of creates your own reality in that weird way,
Yeah.
It makes me think about quantum theory at a very basic level. I'm not to be like, oh, quantum theory equals science, but more so in the idea that right, like, I knew this guy's throwing around words now. Well, you know what? That's all talking is, bitch.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I love everyone. This podcast is about love.
Called you a bitch.
It's about community.
Called you a bitch.
No, but it really is though. Be nice to people.
I'm kidding.
Be
I didn't
kind.
call you a bitch.
Yeah,
Call
but
you a bitch.
but being perceived, like the way that you are, you perceived, kind of collapses all those versions of yourself,
Right.
into one version of yourself in that moment.
Yeah.
And you're kind of in a way fighting all those different versions of yourself. And you're constantly building a new version of yourself. Like you're always having to leave behind a different version of yourself to become a newer version of yourself.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's something also I've kind of like battled with a lot in the latter half of my 20s. And it being that I'm trying to kind of forget the version of myself that I was. And part of me still thinks that I am, which to a degree, of course, I am. But I also am becoming something completely different.
Yeah, I mean, life has a funny way of like having like forward motion being not necessarily like forced, but at least like pushed by something, that be your internal force or that be some external force that's like attracting you in certain directions. But there is that like that moment where you have to kind of like address the elephant in the room, which is the idea that we all are different, but we all do have very similar experiences, or at least experience similar things in our own different ways. And to be able to truly connect, we have to kind of shed our own perception of those things and actually connect with the other person's perception and see what they're seeing and hear what they're hearing, taste what they're tasting, and like get down to like how the difference, like what the difference really is between us. And whenever you get down to the nitty gritty, you realize that there is no difference between us. That it's just a difference of like what someone told us when we were a kid about the taste of celery, that we don't like celery, and you never really had it enough to like actually try it in different dishes and have it in different like formats. It's like, have you had like celery whenever you just like ran a mile and it's like kind of like fresh like celery, like carrots and stuff like that? It's like it's not as bad as whenever you're fucking just eating a cheeseburger and there's a celery stick right there. It's like obviously it's not going to taste as good as the fucking cheeseburger. You know what I mean? Like there's different perceptions that change your reality and like how you view things, and that changes how you connect with other people. And it becomes that conversation. It's like, well, to actually connect with other people, you have to shed the old that you like person that you are, and you have to go with this free flowing current. And the more you try to hold on to the person that you wanted to be or thought you had to be or used to be or anything, is the like more you're swimming against that current.
Are you done with that?
Sorry.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna like. It felt like you were gonna continue on with that.
No, yeah, I think I kind of portrayed what I was trying to say.
Yeah, no, I mean, kind of an example too is even just not necessarily you not ever trying, but for instance, you might think that a certain food sucks, or like
Right.
because your parents made it.
Right.
Your parents could have just sucked at cooking,
Well, yeah,
and then
or
later down the road, you try it different in a different way. Someone prepares it differently. You know, they have a different idea of what that same thing is. You try it, like, oh shit, I liked that the entire time. I just didn't like it in that form.
well, yeah. I mean,
The different form
a
of what
good
that was.
example of that is I thought I loved broccoli, but that's just because I only had broccoli and cheese
That's
when I
hilarious.
growing up. When I had broccoli by itself, I was like, "This is fucking horrible." I don't think the same thing now, but it's one of those things where I was like, "What the?" Like at that moment, I was like, "Where's the fucking cheese?" Like,
That's hilarious. Where's the soup?
literally.
Where's the broccoli and cheddar soup? Bring it on.
But yeah, it is one of those things where you have like a learned experience, and when you try to like share that learned experience, it's not always going to match up with other people's learned experiences. But that doesn't mean that any one of y'all is wrong. It just means that when you go talk about quantum theory, it's like none of this shit is actually real until it becomes like measurable, and then that's whenever it's real to that person that's measuring it. And two people measuring the same thing doesn't necessarily mean that that thing will act in the same way to those two like perceptions.
It is kind of crazy to break it down in that way too, because we want things to be so certain. But the fact of the matter is that ultimately it comes down to as real as we perceive whatever that is to be.
Right.
And that goes for a lot of different things in life. I want to direct it into how we view people, because it is so weird not only how you view others but how you view yourself.
Right.
And what we had talked about too is, you know, for some people when you're in front of your parents, right, you just have a certain way that you think you're supposed to act, or a certain way that you are, so you automatically subconsciously become that person when you're in front of them, even though you may not necessarily do it in the same way as you did when you were a kid. You
Right.
still kind of have that standard that you uphold to a certain level when in front of them. And you know, you may act that same way in front of certain people without even realizing it, just because of other factors that have happened.
Mm.
And even though you're outgrowing that person that you were, you're still somewhat holding on. It's hard to shed those layers, you know?
Right.
So you're still somewhat holding on to that person that you used to be. And I think it is hard to kind of let go of that in a lot of different ways, because life is constantly happening, and it's happening pretty fast. I think, especially, you know, going from teenager to young 20s to older
Mhm.
20s and beyond, right? I think your older 20s are kind of when you really start getting a taste of that, or a lot of
Right.
not the same for everybody, but a lot of people start getting a taste of that feeling, and life starts going a lot faster because a lot more starts piling on your plate. You might be getting married, or you're in a long-term relationship, or you have a job, you got promoted, you're working more hours, or family stuff. You're more likely to want to participate or have to participate because you're older.
Right.
So all these factors, and it's happening so fast that you're trying to figure out, like, you personally still see yourself as that person you used to be.
Right.
And so do other people, which can also keep you in that position, right?
Mhm.
Because other people are still treating you as if you're that person you were. But then when you have a moment to reflect, you realize you're not.
Right.
You don't like the same things you used to like, or there's new things that you started to like, new interests, tastes.
Mhm.
Maybe you like broccoli now.
I do.
Yeah, there you go. And it's weird because a lot of the time we don't even have time to reflect on that, and it gets confusing because kind of get in the. I think it can bring people almost to a depression because you don't realize who you are anymore. Because
Yeah.
you start. It's again, we've talked about it before. If you don't have intention and you're not making the decisions you want to, life will make those decisions for you ultimately.
Truthfully, and also the painful part about it is that like it builds, and like it can start to get to a point where like it becomes overwhelming to view the mountain that you have to climb to get to like where you want to be, I guess, or even to get to the point where you're starting to like, I guess, enjoy your life, if that makes sense. 'Cause I think that's the issue is that like most people that are in that rut or in that whole kind of struggle with the ability to view themselves as someone that can pull themselves out of it. And it isn't like a pick yourself by your bootstraps type of mentality. It's the idea that like no one's coming to save you, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't like view this as you can't save yourself. It means that you have to view it as, what do I have to do to change my reality here? Or not necessarily my reality, what can I do to change other people's and be like a positive impact on others and see if that can be a reflection of my life. But like it does take action, and is going to come from you specifically to change anything about your life. It would be a blessing if someone was gonna come knock on your door and like walk you down the pearly gates and tell you that all of your problems were solved. But in all reality, you're that someone. It's just you have to do it.
Yeah, dude, I'm an idea guy. I'm a big, I have dreams, I have ideas, like they constantly flow. One of the hardest things is acting on those ideas, and sometimes I actually bite off more than I can chew because I've just gotten to a point where like, let me just do whatever
Right.
to try to get started. Of course, part of that is a lot of those things falling through, but it really is a thing where you wake up every day, you get in a routine. For me, I work, 5 days a week. I had 2 days off, but in those days, running errands, doing family stuff most of the time, podcast stuff,
Yeah.
planning the next event that we're gonna be throwing, and things start to get blurry. It just kind of all falls together, and you really do have to constantly take a step back and analyze, what you're doing, and try to kind of adjust accordingly each day to where, because there are points where I'm probably not using my time as efficiently as I could be, Not to say every minute of my day needs to be planned out, but I could wake up a little bit earlier. I could write some things down. I could plan things out a little bit better. That way I'm not in a rush.
Yeah.
It's kind of to slow things down a little bit to where I'm actually able to be present in
Right.
the moments that I'm there instead of constantly feeling like I'm catching up.
Yeah. No,
It
I
is
feel
it
that.
is kind of going back to what you were saying. It is trying to figure out and adjust to what's going to work best for you and
Right.
how you can uh capitalize is the word I want to say. How you can tackle these issues and what best suits you in that moment.
Yeah, and I mean, like, to kind of compound on that, like, I used the analogy in the conversation with you and Evan, but it's lost forever, so I'm gonna just say it now. But it's like basically it's treating your life like basically like searching through the DAW, where it's like there's a bunch of different sounds that you can pick from. There's a bunch of different like layers that you can add to a song, and different tracks and different overlays and all these different like options. And you can get option like analysis paralysis or whatever, paralysis by analysis, whatever the fucking phrase is called. But basically, you can see everything, get so overwhelmed, and not know how to put anything together. The
Yeah.
reality is that you do have to put the time in and search through every single selection and listen to every single drum pack and listen to every single fucking melody that every fucking artist sends you, and actually go through and work to find what works best for you. And if you treat that in the aspect of your life, it is trying that new thing. It's trying that new coffee spot. Trying it if you have to make a career change, seeing what's best for you. Like actually trying new things and not getting stuck in saying I have to either be overwhelmed by all of these options and do nothing, or I'm comfortable with this first option and I'll just do this forever. So you have to find different ways to either continue moving forward or finding like ways to develop what you're doing if you're not moving forward, so that you can one day move forward. But it has to be like all forward progress to some degree. You have to find something that you want to move forward in, and not just like say I'm comfortable here.
I think it's hard to because we're we're caught up in our mind a lot, right?
Always, yeah.
Yeah, that's a big obstacle for a lot of people. And when it does click that living life essentially is just trial and error
Mhm.
at its most basic state, is you trying to figure out who you are, who you ultimately, to break it down in a simple form, it's not all who you, this isn't just who you are completely, but it is the decisions you make, the lack of decisions you make, the
Right.
actions you take, all the little things, all of that makes up who you are. Each individual thing isn't entirely who you are, but you know, the series of moments eventually creates the person that you either want to become or that you are currently, right?
Mhm.
And it does become a hard thing because again, it goes back to just not because how people perceive you also affects how they act around you, right? How
Right.
you perceive yourself also affects how people act around you or how you act around other people. And then on top of that, you know, with that being said, you bring out certain things in certain people and they bring out certain things in you. And that's you, in a way, discovering another piece of who you are.
Right.
And we don't pay attention to that a lot either. We kind of just live and we're like, okay, no one's like, what are these feelings?
Well,
Well, some people, not everyone, but
it's
you know,
comparable to not paying attention to being healthy. So you don't ever appreciate being healthy until you're sick. Until you're fucking dying in bed and you're like, "Oh my god, I fucking wish I could feel better right now. I wish I could feel better right now." But whenever you're healthy, you're just fucking you're walking around normal. You're just fucking living.
nah, it's a perfect example is, you know, uh, now that I don't really drink like that, dude, you know, I chilled at home all day. And yesterday was Memorial Day. Time dating it or dating this, I guess. But yesterday was Memorial Day. I did not go out. I stayed home.
I didn't either. I was proud of
Yeah,
myself.
I didn't drink.
I did.
Yeah, but I mean, regardless, yeah, not going out for Memorial. I mean, I feel like you know, that's like the most adult shit right there.
Yeah.
We didn't. We chilled, but we did do stuff. We were
I
busy the weekend.
cleaned.
Yeah, I'm proud of you. Baby steps, baby steps. But we were busy the whole weekend. But we rested on Memorial Day. And then I know someone who went out and drank and they were not having a good time at work,
Yeah.
right? And I'm like, you know what? I feel pretty
I
good.
feel pretty good.
I'm
I had a
glad
pretty good day today.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm glad I don't feel like that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's moments where we probably will. Making
No,
the
I mean
sacrifice.
have.
Yeah, but
and will.
yeah, going back to the point, you know, it is nice whenever you do make those decisions that are actually good for you yourself later. You know,
Oh yeah.
and you're like, oh man, I could have done this other thing.
It's
But
like
I chose
future me is or current me is looking out for future me.
for real though. Yeah, for real. And but it is crazy how different people bring out different versions of you. And let's say that person passes away, or they're no longer in your life, or it's a breakup, or you lose a friend. Not like physically, but you know, just relationship wise, you lose a
I know
friend.
what you mean.
Yeah, but you also are losing a piece of yourself in that moment because there's a piece of you that only exists when that person's around,
Right.
right? You might have a similar version of yourself, but it's not going to be the exact same as whenever that person is around.
Right.
So it is kind of crazy to think that whatever happens and whichever circumstance, like there is a piece of you that may never exist in this world again.
Well,
To an extent, it might, but
I think
not entirely.
I think the harsh reality is that there are pieces of you that remain in this world that don't exist in your world, but still like exist in others. It's like you're the someone's first heartbreak, or someone's first like fight, or someone's first. Like somebody, you're a memory in someone's head that they carry with them that you don't even know about. You know what I mean? Like that's a version of you that in your mind does not exist, but definitely does exist in someone else's mind.
Dude, me from 17 to 24 was probably the worst versions of myself. Maybe even 25, dude.
I'm not counting out my future versions.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping I'm only going up and getting better from here. But those were sure some of the worst versions of myself. If I was,
I think if they let me
That was
become
rough.
like a 70 to 80-year-old man with my own lawn, it's gonna get real hectic out here.
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, when I'm old and I'm like, I don't got many years left. Let me just
Doing heroin on the front porch,
in front of the
playing
kids.
BP, fucking hanging out,
You
looking
know,
with a walker.
I had some friends tell me that they went to San Francisco and they're like, the homeless people weren't that bad. They tried to hide the drug use from the like because they would shoot it, but they would like go behind a tree,
That's hilarious.
so it wasn't like okay, they're thoughtful. They're not doing it out in the open. I'm like, hell yeah, dude.
And then they just say behind a tree, not like behind a wall, not like in an alleyway or anything.
Hey,
You just went on the other side of that oak right
they
there.
were thoughtful at least. They weren't the worst, They could have been worse, I guess. They could have been in front. Hey, kids,
Yeah, I
here's
guess
free drugs.
that's a pretty low bar, but yeah, I guess it could have been worse.
You scared of tetanus? This will cure it. Here's your tetanus shot.
Cure that right in.
Are you feeling sad? But yeah, there.
But yeah, you know.
It is, and it's also the idea that the good things you could do. Well, bad. I guess it goes either way. Sticks with people, and traces of who you are stick with people,
Yeah.
and that can live on for years,
Yeah.
days, months, years, and that effect. It's the ripple effect idea.
Well, yeah, I mean it's more so the idea of you truly like you can always say maybe I didn't know my own strength. It's like you don't know your own impact. It's like you don't know how much you're impacting people, and like the impact, like the impression that you're leaving on people, and the impression that you might leave on someone to maybe the rest of their lives. Like whenever you talk about relationships, or you talk about like friendships, or even like bullies, or any of these like formative years of like your life where you had these like interactions with people, or maybe not even people, like maybe it was the song that changed your life, or a movie that changed your life, or a car accident that changed your life. You know what I mean? Like maybe it wasn't like an actual like face-to-face conversation that we're talking about here, but something somewhere, somehow, some way, your like persona is living on in another person's universe without you even knowing about it, and like it has impact beyond your years.
Yeah, it really is cool too, 'cause you again going back to like learning things about yourself. You don't. We all think we know ourselves, right?
Yeah.
And we can't. This is one thing I think as people like to leave out of the equation when we try to get to know ourselves. You need people. You need people to fully understand yourself. Because if you're isolated, you only know a fraction of who you are. You haven't experienced all those versions of yourself. Every person you meet is another chance to meet another version of yourself.
True.
Which is a really cool way to look at it, because how you act with that person is you meeting a piece of yourself that you didn't know. And if maybe you don't like that version of yourself, there's options there.
I mean, it is like an opportunity to learn something, not just about like yourself, but about the world. Because I mean, going back to like being able to experience the same thing and having a different like viewpoint on that thing, you wouldn't know that you have a different viewpoint unless you actually communicate that. And like being able to learn how other people see the world, it's like if you've ever just like had a conversation just like in fun of like coming up with like an equation, and just like asking a room of people like how like what the answer to the equation is. They all come up with the same answer, and then ask them like, okay, how'd you get there? And like you have like 3 to 4 different answers of like how they did the math to get to that answer. It's like, oh, interesting. Like I mean, it's not that I didn't know there was different ways to get to that answer. It's just I didn't know that you thought that, and it's interesting that we're like-minded people. We get along with a lot of things, but I didn't know that that's the way that your brain fired, and I would have never known that for if we not did this exercise.
Yeah, and there's also people you think you know based off of a couple ideals that they have.
That's a delusion.
What?
You thinking that
You
you
know 'em,
know, yeah.
but then you get to know somebody. I mean, we're all guilty of it.
Yeah, true.
know.
But we're all guilty of that's the thing is like it's delusional, but we're all guilty of that of being delusional. I mean, like in a lot of cases, we're delusional in our own heads. Like when you meet a girl and you immediately start thinking like, all right, well, if I ask her out or like where would I like take her to this place? It's like you're already like deluding yourself to the thought that she wants to hang out with you.
Yeah, dude, 100%. You're living a false reality already, and then your whole world shatters when it doesn't happen that way.
I mean, there's a level of delusion in fucking career building. There's a level of delusion in sending out college applications. There's a level of delusion in fucking participating in societal fucking functions.
Weirdly enough, you almost need a level of delusion though to
not just like a small bit. You almost have to be like super delusional to believe that everything that you think is gonna work is gonna work. Because like if you don't believe it, who the fuck is gonna believe?
That's true. That is true.
We're all selling something, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm selling basketball cards. Hit me up.
Yeah, check them out.
Hit me up.
But it is kind of crazy that ultimately, I'm trying to word this in a way because we already talked about essentially it is you learning something new about yourself with every person you meet. But ultimately, that opportunity is kind of a beautiful thing because it's endless possibilities to like re-meet yourself, you know,
Yeah.
in a different way, and you learn something about yourself in a different way. And I was, like in relationships, I'll say this: being in a committed relationship has taught me so much more about myself than I could have ever learned on my own.
Mm-hmm.
How to deal with different situations, how to compromise, you know, how to be more understanding, how to be a little bit more organized. Just a lot of different things that I probably I could have learned, but I wouldn't have in the same way.
No,
you know?
yeah, there is something about like seeing something in someone else that teaches you more about yourself, if that makes sense. But I would agree with that. And a lot of, not just a lot of, all the relationships I've had, I've taken something away about something I can either change or improve about myself. I haven't implemented most of them, but you know, I've taken them away. I learned.
And I think the thing is about those specifically. There's another point I want to kind of come to, but with this idea specifically is that one of the biggest things you do kind of learn about yourself in relationships that is important to just being a human being in general, but we let our egos get in the way, is vulnerability. Insecurities and insecurities come from being afraid of your own vulnerability and understanding what it might mean to be completely vulnerable and what the risks are you leave yourself open to. But then we allow for ourselves to be insecure, and then that leads to other things like anger, you know, or fear, which ultimately causes a lot of toxicity, if not potentially death in relationships. As people just get crazy and angry and possessive and, you know, all these other things, because the latter means allowing the understanding that you're each your own person that makes your own decisions. Again, going back to the idea that you have an idea of how things are supposed to go, and if they don't go that way, it shatters your whole reality because you have this idea of what life is supposed to be. And the next point I want to go to on that is that that can lead to you kind of just putting yourself in a pattern of like surrounding yourself with things that only kind of pertain to a certain way, you know?
Well,
so you get caught in a loop.
You enter an echo chamber, essentially.
Yeah, you do. Exactly. Because you're like, this is how things are supposed to go, and you kind of only allow yourself to experience those things.
You just reaffirm that reality as much as you can.
Yeah, to feel safe.
Yeah.
Because if you don't feel that way, then life becomes a lot. Because the idea, the original point of having to make those decisions, or life makes those decisions for you, that's a hard thing to accept. Well, because then you have to actually accept that everything that happens. Not to say it's your fault in a negative way, but it's your fault that you're not maybe doing the things. And don't get me wrong, life can deal you shitty hands. It's not your fault in that sense, because sometimes life does happen to you whether or not you had that choice or not
Right.
at a young age, right? There are
Mhm.
things that you can't control, and that stuff does happen to you. But what you do have control over ultimately is how you react to those
Well,
things.
I think the good distinction there is that like nothing in this life is your fault, but that doesn't take away your responsibility to take over like
Yeah.
your life, if that makes sense. It's like sure you can like say that there's things I fucked up on and those things were my fault, but even those like boiled down into it, it's like you can like look at why you made those decisions and why you are someone who would make the decision that you make and like what goes into your decision making skills and all of these different things. But it's like realistically speaking, none of that shit fucking matters. It's really just about what you're like, what responsibility you take over your own life to move forward in the way you want to. And of course, that means a lot different things for some people because, of course, when you talk about like the deck of cards, it's not always going to be the same deck of cards for the same person. So, like, realistically speaking, it's just about the responsibility that you take over your own life to change the aspect of, or at least the trajectory of the life that you live.
Yeah. And I don't want to go too deep into what I'm about to say here because I kind of want to save it for another episode. But like a big thing right now is men versus women, in the sense that the red pill shit, or the
That's
whole
so
the
big.
whole men, you have to have all this money, or women being like, oh, men are supposed to be the provider, and
No,
it
yeah, I
goes on
mean,
both ends,
it's
and
just like
or
shit post media.
misogyny,
Yeah.
and yeah, or just. But there's
Not
people
shit
who fall
post
into that
media.
trap
Well, yeah, I mean,
and actually think they think that way.
that's the reaffirming reality that I was talking about.
Yeah, no, exactly. But that's why I was gonna bring it up though.
Yeah.
Is that you kind of feed into it, and then it becomes because you act like a dickhead, or you think that this way is like how you're supposed to get girls. Or I'm using men as a perspective because obviously I have a better perspective from a man's point of view. But you go into it, and
You're
then
saying you don't have a better perspective on a woman's point of view
maybe I do.
than a woman? What is a woman, Daniel?
I am not. I am not a scientist nor a doctor.
No, look, I mean,
I don't have the knowledge to make those kinds of
I don't know.
claims. Yeah, I don't. I'm not. I don't have a PR team, as you can see. No, but
I
since
mean, like the point that I was gonna get to was is that like that reaffirming reality that you're talking about. It's like the reason that that's so attractive or so easily like it's easy to find an audience for that nowadays is because the adverse to that is realizing that that's not real and that you do have the option to go change your life by literally changing the things that you do in
yeah,
your life.
or maybe you suck, or maybe
Kind
you
of what I'm
need to
talking about.
yeah, or maybe you need to change your like it's for a man. When they go and a girl doesn't like them, then easy thing to just be like, oh fuck you, you fucking suck. Maybe if they suck, then why do you want to be with them?
Right.
Why are you worried about that? That's not for you. Go find something that's for you. You're worried about the wrong fucking things. Instead of taking accountability over your life, it's easier. I mean, that's a lot of the problems in this country, most for right now in general, is it's easy to have a scapegoat, which we can go into another episode as well.
Politics.
Yeah, right. That's everything. It's easier to have a scapegoat than to take accountability for your life and realize that you have to make those decisions for yourself. It's easier to blame somebody else, and then when things don't go your way, you can use that, and then it
Yeah.
just feeds into itself, and then it just makes that shit more popular.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Ultimately,
a lot of times whenever you're in these like political conversations, it gets really toxic because the reality is a lot of people's politics have become their identity instead of like it used to be like identity politics were a portion of politics and there were so many other like versions of politics and most people didn't fucking care about him like there was of course the people that did and of course the people that paid attention and did all of the like but it's like it's become so like mainstream to like have an opinion political opinion nowadays it's like When did everyone become so fucking politically
A lot,
active and
yeah,
informed?
dude. A lot. It's crazy because
Not
a lot
even
of this.
acting like it's a bad thing. It's just been charged in a bad way.
No, 100%, dude. We're acting like war and all this stuff is new. We've been in this shit for a long time as a
Yeah.
country. This shit, a lot of bad shit has been happening for quite some time. But it's crazy because even if you go back 30 years ago, people could be conservatives and liberals and maybe not agree, but it was pretty commonplace for people to be like, don't talk about it, because it was more so whether or not I'm conservative or you're liberal, we're human beings and we should coincide or coexist. I said coexist. We should coexist with each other and function as a society.
It's like
And now that's all out the fucking window.
we can have a debate, but like the moment that you tell me I'm a piece of shit because I think this and you think that is the moment that we have lost the plot. And it's like the whole point of you thinking that and me thinking this is for us to talk about it, and whoever fucking is able to be correct is able to get the other person to say, I didn't see it that way. My apologies. And it doesn't mean that you have to change the course of your life or even change your politics. It just means that you're able to see it from a different perspective and be like, oh, wow, okay, maybe I didn't see it that way.
Or maybe not even that. You're like, I still think what I think, but I actually still can see you as a human being, and I don't mind you that much. And then, honestly, that's one step closer in its own way, because you're not just saying, oh, all of these people are a piece of shit because they think this way. Oh, okay, maybe there's some nuance to life.
It has been weaponized though. Like I think this goes into like kind of the conversation that I've had with you, where it's like whenever you talk about like like I think everything is so extreme nowadays. Like they take the extremists from both sides and make those the loudest voices, so that everyone sees these extremes of both sides, and no one really like cares about what's actually happening in the courtrooms and what's happening in the fucking House or the Senate. They just see the extremes and like, oh my God, here go the liberals again. Or oh my God, these fucking conservatives are never gonna fucking let it go. It's just like that's all that we need you to do, is just react in that way so that you don't care about what we're actually doing over here.
Yeah, and to the people that don't have critical thinking, those people are eating that shit up, and they're like, oh, I'm that person now. I've met those people.
No, I have too. I mean, like the reality is that like we have lost the plot, but that doesn't mean you have to get lost in it, if that makes sense.
You don't have to.
I mean, it's easy to give your life away and just fucking go campaign for the next president. I mean, if you want to do that with your life, go for it. It's also very easy to not give a fuck about any of that shit and just like react to the shit that we don't have control over. Like in my opinion, like this is contrary to popular belief, I guess. The reason I don't vote is because I don't truly feel like in a fucking red state, if I wanted to vote blue, it would actually fucking matter.
Maybe one day.
But like
You'll
the
know.
conversation we've had about the third party not fucking mattering. It's basically a quote unquote wasted vote, and that's what people popularly view it as. Now, that being said, it's like if that's the case, then like I'm either wasting my vote by voting blue or wasting my vote by voting third party, or I'm just doing what the state's already going to do, which is voting red. Those options seem stupid to me. And so, relatively speaking, with that system in place, why are we promoting voting as much? It's like I get the point of it in its totality, like what it's supposed to mean, but we all have an understanding that none of this shit's going to fucking go the way we want it to.
You know why I can't stand both parties, though? Because, for instance, it's like third party. Okay, so let's say someone really believes in that. That's what we should be promoting, is you voting in what you actually believe in and not trying to be the lesser of two evils.
Right.
Because in that, first of all, I mean, conservatives, I think fucking suck, and liberals also fucking suck. Is like, because on one side it's you being very hateful, and the other side is just hateful in a different way, where you're like, I'm progressive, but you're just like, well, if you don't think like I do, then you're wrong.
Right.
Both fucking suck.
Well,
And then it's like someone's like, well, I think that their vote is the option I want to go with, and both sides are like, you're a fucking idiot.
right.
Like, okay, well then you're no better than the person that you're shitting on. Y'all are both. It's just y'all are the same person, just in a different form.
Well, my thing is that like they've also changed like the campaign structure. Like I feel like at some point, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm just have been lied to by the history books once again, but I feel like at some point the campaign structure used to be like, here's what I'm fighting for and here's what I'm gonna change. Now it's just like Sleepy Joe and
Yeah, bro.
Crooked Hillary
Yeah.
are, and I'm not gonna sit here and act like fucking Kamala's campaign was so great, but it's just one of those things where you guys are talking about zero policies that you want to put forth. The only thing you're doing is shitting on each other and fucking making it clear to everyone that if you vote for the other person, then you're a racist or a bigot.
You know what it is though?
It's like, what are we doing here?
You know what it is that people they want to feel like they're doing something, right? So
Right.
it's easy to talk about this shit. Everyone wants somebody else to make the decision for them. Going back to what we were saying before, understanding that change comes from you and what you do with your surrounding environment.
Mm-hmm.
You going out and supporting your friends, or you going out and getting involved in the community. That's what actually makes a difference.
Right.
We would but we don't want to do that.
No.
We want someone else to make those decisions for us.
Right.
And so we're like the world's fucked and it's going into the shitter. And the funny thing is, it's like the people that are doing it to us, we're like, please save us.
Right.
They're the ones doing it.
Yeah.
They're not coming to save us. The only people that are gonna be able to save anybody is each other. What we have to realize is ultimately we have to have each other's backs.
Right.
As a society, we have to pick each other up when we fall down. We have to come together as a community and support each other, help people, maybe get involved in building houses, like Habitat for Humanity or stuff like that. Another one I'm not thinking of right now. Or helping people with their groceries, or, just as something as simple as helping someone. Who helps people cross the road anymore?
Well, I would say anything that you just named would be a lot better than just living your life waiting for your savior to come back from the dead so that your sins will be absolved again. If that's what you believe. Not to hate on it, it's just one of those things where it's like, that's not enough. Like,
Scapegoat.
it's not enough to be like, all right, well, he's going to come back and save us all. It's like, well, when the fuck if you want to continue to wait for that to happen, then you can go for it. But in the meantime, all this shit's getting fucking fucked up out here, and you have the option to help out and change some shit. Maybe not all the shit, maybe not any substantial amount of shit, but if you just get one piece of dog shit out of the yard, and it's more than you're fucking currently doing, like, let's just talk about it.
It's become so easy to rely on something else saving us than us understanding we have to save ourselves.
Well, yeah,
It's a much harder option.
We have become very it's our convenience has become commoditized. Our fucking food supply has become fucking what's the word?
Streamline.
Well, streamlined is one. It's like basically factory farming. But I was gonna say industrialized to a degree. But our world is becoming so anti-human. Like, it's becoming like the only human part about our lives anymore is just this, like the connection that we have with each other. But like, whenever it comes to like how you get your food, where like this is all coming from, what resources you had to get the food itself, and how you got those resources, and what you did to get those resources.
We're so
what
far
it took to
removed
get
from
you
reality.
to get the application to get those resources. It's just like you are so removed from how much availability you have to just go outside, fucking get a bow and arrow, kill a deer, and fucking have food for the year. I mean, obviously it takes having refrigeration and shit like that, and I'm not fucking skilled to be able to kill a deer with a bow and arrow. But what I'm saying is that we have lost that art that we teach our children fucking how to shoot and how to fucking hunt and how to do these things.
There are people who still do that, but
but those people are looked down upon by the people that are taking, not say that vegans are taking over our society, but like how our society is translating. It's becoming anti-hunter, which is just human. It's just animal, actually. Just like any animal is a hunter of other animals. Well, I guess any carnivore. But like, that being said, it's like this is animalistic, and we're just trying to do everything we can to not be that animal that we are.
Again, everyone wants to blame somebody. It's like, oh, hunting is bad. It's factory farming, industrialization. I mean, ultimately, it's a bigger issue than we want to really take notice to. It's easier to blame something. It's like the people who are going and hunt. A lot of people that are hunting have licenses.
Right.
and there's seasons,
Right.
and you can only hunt so much unless it's a hog. But hogs essentially are like parasites to land, anyways.
This
They
is
just they're destructive as
this
shit.
is another one of those topics like where I feel like again I think about this like about a lot of different topics, but there's a lot of different things where I'm like people have such a adverse reaction to like hunting, but I feel like it's just because of the extreme hunters that are out there just posting pictures with the fucking lion or a fucking
Yeah.
elephant or
Poachers,
like
and
poachers
not quite,
for
but there's
sure, but
they're
also
on the
the
same playing
trophy
field.
hunting type of
Trophy,
like
yeah.
shit. But it's like those type of people are the like reason that people have a bad taste in their mouth for hunters whenever that's like less than 1% of the hunters that are out there in the world are poachers and
Yep.
fucking trophy hunting.
But the reason that's a problem is because there are endangered species.
I'm not saying it's not a problem.
No, you're
I'm
just
saying
they're
that
the
people
yeah, no, I
use
know.
that to be their only scope of what hunters are.
Yeah.
Instead of understanding that that's just what they see online, and therefore like that's what they have their mentality attached to of
Yeah.
a hunter, because they don't know any hunters in their own life.
100%.
Moment they meet a hunter, like, oh, well, I agree with what you do. I just don't like what those people do.
You're
It's
doing.
like, well, yeah, well, not everyone does that shit.
Yeah, dude, we need to get people need food on the table. If anything, some of those people are more sustainable than the people who are
Yeah.
factory farming ultimately.
And I mean, also there's some like situations where like they actually have like, what's the word I'm looking for? Sanctuary would probably be the wrong word, but it's like essentially it's like set up to where people that do want to do trophy hunting, if they do want to do it, they have to pay like exorbitant amounts of money, because not only are they paying for like the access to the animal to go like onto the lands and hunt it, but also like they like all the meat from the animal, at least most of the meat goes to like the local villages, and then also some of the money that they pay goes to those villages as well for like resources as well.
Oh shit, that's
So
pretty
like
cool.
things that are set up like that, it kind of makes sense in the trophy hunting sphere, because if people are gonna trophy hunt, no matter what, at least there's some benefits coming out of it. But like that is to say, the trophy hunting is it's kind of despicable. It's like, what are you guys doing? Like, who is this for? Like,
Nah, for real, right? I'm the
look at
big
my
dog.
conquest. It's
Yeah, you
like
didn't. Go
this
out
was
there.
in a fucking gate.
That's what I'm saying. Go in there. Go out there bare fist, dude. And
Yeah, I
fight
mean,
that bitch. Tell me about conquest.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, it's definitely not a conquest, but it's treated as such. But at least there are some situations where like the people that are going to do that have to pay like a ton of money, and that resources does go to like villages and stuff for like that to make sense for those villages.
I would agree.
Now you just have to look at it from like the scope of like, is the like allocation of funds being like distributed well there, or is it
Hard to
like,
say.
because I mean there's a lot of like underdeveloped like gang stuff going on in those areas as well, so it's tough. But
Illegal poaching going on.
yeah,
as
a
well.
lot of legal
So it's
poaching
tough,
stuff. So
yeah. Well, I think because I kind of want to dive into some of those topics deeper on another episode, so I think we could wrap it up there. We could do some closing remarks. Again want to say thank you to everyone who listens. You know that the ultimate goal here is to bring people together, to share experiences, to build a form of community with each other, but also stay silly, stay goofy, realize life is what you make it. It's okay to be silly. It's okay to have fun. It's okay to dance. It's okay to look stupid. Who gives a shit? If you take life too serious, you're missing out on a whole portion of life that I promise you is going to be a lot more fun. I mean, of course, my own personal perspective, but that's how I like to take a look at it. But we love doing this. We love you guys that do listen, and there's a lot more to come. We say that all the time, but it is true every single time. Is there anything you'd like to say before we close it out?
for my closing marks, I gotta shout out Mark Wahlberg, Mark Normand, Mark Zuckerberg, Mark Jackson. Those are my closing marks.
Mark. What's his name? He's a comedian.
Ruffalo.
That's an actor. I think he got in an argument with Louis J. Gomez.
Recently?
Yeah. It was about Dave Smith.
Oh, I didn't see this.
I can't remember. He got in an argument with Dave Smith.
Oh, Mark Maron?
Yeah.
Mark Maron.
I think it was Mark Maron. Yeah.
It's a good closing mark.
Yeah. Good closing mark. Last closing remarks. Happy Memorial Day. Happy day.
Happy day.
Y'all have a good one. We'll catch you guys next time. We love you guys so much.
Later.
Until next time.
Peace.